Okay, I had done a video on the practical reasons of why I put my house where it is and how I designed my lot. Now I'm going to do a video on the spiritual aspects of what I've done for my property. So the first thing I did was I blessed it. Now there's traditions with the Jewish and every nation has its way of blessing its land. Now, basically, we are created beings, and so my belief system is go with what your intuition is or what you feel. Because if we all did the same thing, how boring would that be? So, what I did is I did use olive oil, and I speak in tongues, so I prayed in the spirit. And I had placed, so you visualize it. This is, like I said, my method. I have 2 guardians right here posted. So if someone was intuitive, they would see them. And if they had their third eye open, is what I'm talking about. Now, these 2 beings guard my property. So anything negative waits right here. As soon as you pass there, they don't let negativity come into the property. So anyway, so I have my 2 angels here, and then I had gone around all of my property, dropping bits of oil, praying in the spirits around all the property. And on each corner point, I put a guardian to keep out any negative energy. So anything that was carrying anything negative, the entity has to stay on the other side of the property, and when the person or animal left, they can get picked back up. Now, people who are intuitive and spiritual, when they come onto my property, they feel the difference. And it has been told to me, they're like, it feels different here. I'm like, yep, because I already know why, because I put my little beings there. So, and I thank them. Oh, the other thing I did was, we have water that comes down here, and there's like you can see I walked over, we have a culvert, and there's kind of like a rain, when it rains, if it has heavy rains, the water runs down through here. It's kind of like a stream that goes and continues. Now, it used to pile up here a lot. So you put your hands, this is what I did. Again, you have to visualize it in your mind and go with what your intuition's telling you. So I spoke to the water and said, hey, I really can't have you staying here because I need to get back and forth on my property. Can you continue to move or find another solution? And, thanked it and basically just asked, could you not hang out here? And lo and behold, it doesn't hang out here anymore. So it does work. Water has memory and consciousness. We just haven't realized it yet. Well, I have. So, let's see here. Oh, so back to the angels. Or angels, guardians, whatever you envision. Actually, the guys at the front gate, they're my huge bouncers. And so this is a corner right here. So I placed one here. I have placed one over there, and the other corner, one up here. And I think I placed one right there. So they guard the property, and I'm infusing my energy pretty much daily to make this a sacred site. So for future generations, it's kind of like what the Indians do when you go to sacred sites, where you can create your own. So that's what this is. Now, my thought process was too, is basically, it's not quite the center of I think maybe I have a pie-shaped lot, so it's kind of hard to figure out what the exact center is. But I made like a circle with my buildings. I have my barn, my house, my greenhouse, and then right in the heart is the fireplace, which is like the center. And so I created kind of like a closed loop circle, and then I had the fireplace in the middle. So I've done a couple rituals in the middle with the fire, blessing the land in gratitude and grace. And you can just feel like this, because energy you can't kill it. You can feel it circle around. You want to keep it here. You don't want it leaving. So I have a kind of like a circle going on. And again, this is my creator intuition, the way I've done it. We all have our own thing. So just have your intention. If you believe in it and you have the intention, then that's what you're going to get. So, and the stronger your belief, the stronger it is. So I have, this circle is kind of like my power circle here. Now, another thing I did was I learned about this power in the blood. So this was my experiment tree. This is a live oak. It has been planted 1 year ahead of these other live oaks. Now, what I did was gave it my blood and to see if there'd be a difference. Clearly, if you look, there's a big difference. Granted, this is 1 year older, but there's a big difference. So there's power in the blood. So what you want to do is get as much as your blood on your plants in your land, because then it genetically gets modified to you. So kind of like animals, they pee and poop in their land and they get their DNA on the land. And like cats and dogs, they mark their territory. Well, that's because the plants are here for us, and they will pick up your DNA and your genetics and then grow according to what you need. Now, this is a tradition that was done with the Jews way back in the days. And of course, one of those lost traditions. So I tested it out, and lo and behold, it works. So you want to get your blood in the land, your DNA. When you plant your seeds, you want to, put them in your mouth and then bury them. And you just kind of like follow nature. So there's a reason why animals mark their territory. It's not just for marking, it's also getting their DNA so the herbs and the medicine that they need grow for them. Because herbs, what we call weeds, are actually medicine. So anything that you find on your property that there's a lot of, so say you have comfrey, or you have plantation. There's another one that I had a lot, echinacea. Any of those plants. If you have a plant that you actually consider weed and you're ripping it out and you're like, what the heck, and you're trying to get rid of it, it's because that is the medicine you need. So if you have a lot of what we classified as a weed on your property, go look up its medical use, and most likely you need it. Now, as long as I mentioned I had placed the guards on my property, I also have spoke to the trees and talked to them. So I have a live oak, the first live oak that I planted, and I call that tree my greeter tree. And I spoke to it and said, you are to greet the newcomers on the property. And I also have like my lookout trees and my garter trees. So I have a live oak up at the corner of my property here, and this one looks out and guards. And so I have at the fire pit, there's a live oak, and that's called Gather, and he encourages gathering people to gather there in like harmony. So each tree has its job, and what I've noticed is the ones that have their jobs and the ones that I'm interacting with the most thrive. It's kind of like they thrive from your energy. It's like, when you have an empty house, they kind of go to ruin, and it's like your presence, it's your energy that keeps the house alive. Well, the same thing with your land and your trees. The plants and the animals thrive with you being there. We were built for this earth all to, work together, and just being human and being yourself is actually helping the animals around. I mean, if you study nature and look at nature, it kind of shows you and tells you that we all are serving each other, and we are serving the trees as much as the trees is serving us. So this one right here guards and looks out, and sadly I don't have a picture, but if I did, the amount this tree has grown and flourished is like dumbfounding. Like when I first moved here, a lot of these oaks that were here, because it's 4 years now, were kind of sparse, you know, and it's not like I cleaned out around it or anything. I've done nothing. I just thank you for doing such a great job. You just talk to them, and your energy makes them happy, you know. It's just boost them up that you actually acknowledge what they are doing. So kind of just walking around showing you the property. Another thing I've done is added a water fountain. You know, Chinese always have water in the businesses and stuff like that. So water holds memory, and it's starting to get out, and you can YouTube it and stuff. So you can do a water test yourself. You can take rice and put it in water in one jar and one in another one. And you need to keep them kind of separated. So the one jar, you tell it you love it and give it gratitude and stuff. And then the other jar, you send it hate and evil and like hard metal music. And the jar that you talk negative to will mold, and the one that you talk positive to will stay the same. So water, now if the two jars are too close to each other, the good water will transmute the bad water. So if you have good water and you put it with bad water, it can transmute it and make it good. And then water holds memory. So I have ancient water, a little bit of ancient water, and I put it in the fountain. So it keeps the water like wise, and it's releasing wisdom. So this water fountain is releasing wisdom into the air and the environment and peace. So I also have taken the ancient water and put it in my hot tub. And so, by the way, this is really cool because chemicals kill you. They say germs kill you. No, it's chemicals. It's not like you need to take something, put something into your body, like the medicine and more chemicals. You really need to detox from the poisons that we get from our environment. So the last thing I wanted is a plastic hot tub with major chemicals in it. So this is aluminum and or marine aluminum, I think, and it's heated with wood, and I can put herbs and salts and anything I want in this water. I also take my structured antique water and I put it in here, and you soak in that. So this is sold from Goodland and Canada. So that's another spiritual thing I did for this property. So here's a closer view of my fire pit. And as you can see, everything is like a circle, round. So in nature, you don't have straight angles. So like my pathway to the house is rounded, and my driveway just is rounded, and the pathway to the greenhouse is rounded. So everything is bending and flowing. But another thing to do is, before you lay down your pathways, is live here for a while and wait till you wear them down. So, you know, originally I was thinking guests would pull up and they go straight to the door. But the reality is I leave the front door in the morning and I walk straight to the barn. And this was the pathway that I took. So I'm like, why should I do for the guests that come here occasionally make a straight line? Because most people would just make a straight line from here straight to the door, but that's not how I live day to day. I wouldn't come straight down and take this angle. So why not just walk around your property for a month, wait till you wear out a path, and then make your walkway? So this is the walkway that I use to my barn. So, and that doesn't stop the flow of energy. It's, like you decrease the value of energy with hard angles. So all these little walkways were from pathways that I was creating naturally on my own. Here's my little animals, happy little guys. Hey guys, it's a little hot with those winter coats, I bet. We're having a very hot day today. It's like 80 in the beginning of February, so it's very hot. Let's see here. Oh, so I have my bird bath for the birds and the animals and the deer and stuff. Now, another thing I did, and I don't know why I did it. I just felt like I wanted to do this. I had this mirror in the candle, and I didn't have a spot for it in the house. And for some reason, I felt compelled to put it here. And I think the reason I was compelled to do that is I think this mirror and candle, because past these words is the boundary line, is reflecting back all the good energy and keeping it within my property. Kind of think that's what it's doing. I'm not quite sure. Again, as you can see, this pathway is nice and rolling. And there's the greenhouse. I'm working on planting medical herbs on this property for future generations. Because a lot of them are getting killed by Roundup. And we are told they're weeds when they're not. They're medicine. Anything that is classified as a weed is not. It's beneficial for you. They tell us to plant grass. It's like, that's not good for you. So I don't use Roundup, and I kind of let things go naturally and grow versus, having it impeccable. Okay, this is the water that I drink during the day, and I fill it up every morning. And I have this this wand thing that I got from Germany. See the company name, Anella. And what this is a quartz wand with ancient water from deep in the earth. And it takes like a year to get the ancient water because it needs to have the 4 seasons. And so this wand, water transmutes, and the good water will transmute the bad water. So this water in here will transmute this water. And water likes to be in motion, like living springs. Living water is moving. And more circles, not angles. So you take this wand and you put it in the water and you stir for 1 minute to 2 minutes. And at the same time, you put your energy into the water. So I put my hands on the glass. You don't want to use plastic because that's not good for us. Put my hands on the glass, and I think of something that brings me joy and love. So it could be anything for anyone. For me, it's holding my dog, patting my animals, being with my animals. So you bring that love and joy real strong into your system, and then you project it out through your hand into the water at the same time that you're stirring the water. So what's happening here is this water from my faucet is getting transmuted into the ancient water, which is from the ground. And then when I drink the water will transmute my cells back to the original blueprint of what our cells should be versus these age, decaying, chemical-ridden cells. So now I'm using this wand here. Now it's all about belief systems. I believe this to be true, therefore it is so. Now, if you have a really strong belief system, you don't need to be using this wand. You could use your finger, you could use a stick, you could use your necklace, you could use anything you want, or not even stir it at all and just put your hand on it and just infuse your belief system into it. This is basically a handicap.
But I like using the wand because I like the whole little witchy thing. And when I do hold the wand, I do feel my energy rise. So that's why I use the wand. And when I'm done with this, I take the water and I use this water to put in my fountain. I'll put some in my hot tub and I'll water my plants with it. I'll also heat my tea with it, or I'll just plain old drink it. Yeah, so this is very delicate, so you have to be careful. All right, there you go.